So welcome back to Island Mom After Dark. Today we have the CEO of Branson Center, Lauri-Ann Ainsworth, in the house. Welcome, Lauri.
Thanks for having me, Anika. Love to be here.
So a little background story. So Lauri and I have worked together in different, varying capacities over the years. And I think one of our biggest bonding moments was when you were a client, I was working at an agency, and we were in a team meeting, like a group meeting, around the board table, and Lauri gets up to go to the restroom.
And you're going to tell this story.
I'm going to tell this story. And for whatever reason, I was like, So I decided to follow Lauri to the bathroom. And I just said, "Are you pregnant?" And she's like, "Yes." "I'm pregnant too." And we did this weird hop dance thing.
I remember what we were wearing too.
So I think after that, we kind of synced, yeah?
I think from then, we've just been like bonded. We did hip.
Yeah, and you were actually one of the first people I spoke to about Island Mom.
Yes, I remember. Yes. When it was your big idea.
And yeah, I had the idea. I was like, I have to talk to Lauri about this.
And it was so amazing, Anika. It's amazing. I love this.
Thank you. There's so much more I'd like to do, but we're here to talk about balance, and I have to triage the different things that I'm doing at this point in time. But to give folks a little bit of context, you can speak about your personal work portfolio experience, but I can tell you that Lauri is one of the most accomplished and one of the most talented individuals whom I've met, who I've had the pleasure of working with, and I genuinely love this woman.
Thank you. I love you too.
So to kick things off, though, I wanna talk about this because I believe it was Virgin who had mentioned that you are their first wellness CEO. So can you give me a little bit of context about that?
Yeah, so I've always been a wellness advocate. I started, well, I shouldn't say always, because I think once you get into the wellness field, you had to have had some kind of break. You had to have been some way been broken, and I was broken, and I found healing and wellness to kind of mend me back together. So for several years now, wellness has been a big part of my life, and I've taken this journey with me personally. Mm-hmm. And so when I was at the Branson Center, I started in a different capacity. I was the Director of Development and Communications, and everyone there knew that I was into wellness, always into essential oils and yoga, health. I became a life coach, a health coach, a yoga teacher. I mean, I was just doing everything for wellness, and it was really for myself. So when I stepped into this role of CEO, I decided that I had to bring myself, and I was not going to be a CEO that everyone, or the typical CEO or another CEO that's been out there that I want to replicate. I had to be myself, and stepping into this role of CEO of the Branson Center of Entrepreneurship, what does that have to do with wellness? And I thought, well, it has everything to do with wellness, because if we are not well, if we're not looking after ourselves, then there's no way we can be productive. There's no way we can have thriving businesses. And so for me, ensuring that my team practiced wellness or were feeling that I was creating space for them to thrive personally was going to improve productivity. Branson Center has also always been a place where you can bring your whole self to work. And so I brought myself, I brought my wellness. And so for me, with the team, I encourage them to take breaks often. I brought diffusers into the office with essential oil. I brought roller bottles in the office. You know, I've created little spaces where, hey, if you're having a rough day, go and use some essential oil and, you know, get your mind right. Encourage meditation. Unfortunately, because of COVID-19, we aren't able to do our yoga sessions because we had lots of those things planned. But yeah, I mean, I encourage my team to be well, and not just personally, but from a work-life balance situation. I'm a big advocate of prioritizing tasks and not overloading people. So my team has dubbed me the Wellness CEO.
I love it. I love it. But tell me a little bit, because not many people would know that you're a certified, well, you're a yoga teacher. I know
Yeah.
that you do Reiki.
Yeah.
Just list the stuff for us.
So I started Reiki, actually did Reiki with you first. You introduced it to me. And
Oh, yes.
you forget. So you're the first one who introduced me to Reiki, which is, just for anyone who doesn't know, it's a relaxation technique, a Japanese relaxation technique that balances the mind and the body. And I first got that with Anika. And that was many, many years ago. And then as I went through my journey, my career, and I was in the corporate world, as Anika had said before, and life just started to get really rough. I became a mom. You know, that's a whole new world. Became a mom again, working, being a mom, all of these stresses in life, trying to be an entrepreneur as well. And I broke. And so I found Reiki. Reiki again. I started practicing Reiki, loved it so much that I went through the levels. I became a Reiki master. And then I continued my wellness journey. I became a life coach after that, certified life coach, international life coach. And then I became a health and wellness coach, focusing on nutrition, doing the whole holistic thing. And then lastly, I became a yoga teacher, a certified yoga teacher. I did my registered yoga teacher 200 OO, and it's been great. It's been a great journey for me personally.
Yeah. Well, you're well-rounded.
I never thought that I would have done that. I mean, I was all about marketing and entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, David said to me the other day, you know, you realize that you'd reinvented yourself? And I'm like, oh, wow, I did.
Yeah, you have.
Yes, but I mean, it didn't change me having a career being in the corporate world, but I incorporated wellness, and it was baby steps. So this has taken me a few years to do, but I mean, not that it has to take anyone years and years, but I think it's just taking baby steps and incorporating and changing, you know, your lifestyle.
So what, apart from the obvious, what's the importance of wellness at this time? Considering COVID-19, apart from the obvious.
Yeah. I mean, right now there are, I don't know what's obvious yet, right? Because I mean, right now, besides the stress, the anxiety of people not wanting to get this virus, right now people are working from home. People are in a totally different environment than they've been in. If you're not used to remote working, or if you're not used to some of the news that, you know, perhaps you're losing income, or if you are, you know, in a leadership position where you have to let go of people, it can be very high stress. And so if you're not taking care of yourself, just from that perspective, it's very easy for you to burn out. Just thinking about these things, your brain is constantly ruminating. As at night, you know, do I have to lay off this person, or how am I going to earn this money? And so if we aren't able to take care of ourselves from the inside, this is going to have serious effects on us, not just from a physical standpoint, from a psychological standpoint. And if we're talking about from, I know some of your community are women who work or entrepreneurs. From a productivity standpoint, if you're not looking after yourself, there's no way you're able to produce results. And right now, where a lot of people are losing income, if you aren't able to have clear, rational thoughts, even to think about, am I going to pivot my business? Am I going to think about something else? Or am I going to, you know, create another business line, or tap into a new audience, whatever it is I'm doing? If you don't have that clear thought process, you're going to be going down that road of doom and gloom. And the best way to keep your focus, be productive, and progress is to start taking care of yourself first. So
apart from obviously needing to take care of ourselves, like how can someone implement or roll out, even from a small business standpoint, or even if you have one employee, like how can you roll out a wellness program remotely for your team at this time?
Well, I think first of all, you have to make sure that your people who you work with know that you're making space for that. So it's okay, you know? And when you're talking about people who are working remotely, there are a few things to consider. One, you're not there to monitor anyone, right? So it's not a matter of encouraging people to get up and do. So it's more, or requiring them to, it's more encouraging them. So, you know, if your company makes wellness a part of their core values and encourages team members to, hey, take a break, you know, you don't have to be constantly at the computer. Maybe sometimes we as leaders need to remind our team members that it's okay to get up, take a break, do something, you know, have a brain break, because there's this sentiment that if you're at home, you're not working. So some people go to the extreme and they work harder and they're sending emails, you know, constantly to show people, hey, I'm working. If you want to roll out more of a wellness program remotely, let people know, you know, you also have to set boundaries. As a CEO or a manager or leader, whoever you're working with, that it's okay. You don't have to, you know, send emails at 2 o'clock in the morning. You can take breaks during these times. Send encouraging information to your team members to let them know that, you know, here are some ways that you could start taking care of yourself. Maybe even, you know, creating a place where you could give them exercise videos or, you know, some tips. Those are all ways that you can encourage your team members. And I'm talking strictly from like a remote perspective. I think a wellness program inside of the workplace might look different, but I think those are some of the ways to encourage. Just let them know it's okay and that you would encourage it, you know. And I think also, as I said before, I think it's important that if you have people working with, that you look at what's on their plate. Don't pack up work on people's plates. Let them know, hey, we have all these deliverables, let's talk about it. Are you overwhelmed? It's important to ask the questions. I think that's a part of, you know, creating a culture of wellness. Always asking and tapping into what's going on with your team members. How are you feeling about this? Are you overwhelmed? How can I support you? Or what can you off your plate now and, you know, look at in a little while? So prioritizing and deprioritizing, I think, are important steps from a productivity and wellness perspective.
So I'm actually putting out a poll right now while we're live, so that folks can give us a little bit of feedback. Because what I have here as our poll question is, do you think you're working harder now at home? And this boils back to a question that I had for you of, do you think folks should be working harder or smarter right now?
No, I always think people should work smarter. I do not. I do not like to work hard. I'm so sorry. You know, maybe I'm lazy, but I use lazy very loosely.
Yeah.
Because I think that it's important for me to create an environment that's conducive to my core desired feelings. And for me, one of my core desired feelings is ease and simplicity. I don't like to feel hectic and rushed. And so, yeah, I think it's important to utilize technology. So I consider myself to be a person who's very efficient. And I use a lot of productivity tools. And I think right now, people should be using technology to support them to work smarter and not harder. I always advocate for that.
One thing that I've heard, and I think this is, you and I, we're a little bit ahead of the curve with working from home, you know, and you have your days when you're in or out of office. But for folks who this is new to, I have heard from them that they find themselves working even harder, because I think they're literally scheduling meetings back to back. It's not like you have a commute time where you're moving from one place to another place for a meeting. It's literally just a Zoom call. So we were in our little powwow before this, we're talking about boundaries. So what were you, reiterate what you're talking about where the boundaries are concerned?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to create boundaries, personal boundaries, at home, as well as for the work environment. So, I mean, at home, let's talk about that first, right? We're all at home now, we're talking about working from home. And I think everybody in here is a mom. It's safe to say because we're adding moms, yeah? So I think first, it's creating boundaries.
Your dads.
Oh,
Your
sorry.
dads,
Dads to mom.
they're silent, but they're there.
Right. I think, yeah, it's important to set boundaries. And, you know, and of course, it depends on how old your kids are. So for me, it's letting my kids know that mommy is still at work. And saying to you before I came on a call, my daughter had a little meltdown right before we came on the call, you know, talking about wanting to spend more time with me. And that's just today because I spent a lot of time with her. But, you know, children are fickle and their memories reset, I think, every day.
Yeah.
So today in particular was really, I had a lot of work doing, and I'm not going to lie, you know. But I scheduled my time so that today I got a lot of work done so that I will have time tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's a holiday, but regardless, I try to schedule my time that way. So I set boundaries where there are certain times where I will not accept meetings, and there are times where I'm creating work. For me, setting a boundary, like, and this is something I learned from one of my mentors. I have 1 hour, 1 to 2 hours a day for me to think. Just think. And that period of time is, I don't schedule any meetings during that time because it's my most productive 2 hours, or 1 hour, because I use 1 hour to actually do things and the other hour to think. And so it's important to set those boundaries. Oh, I've skipped because I was talking about the kids.
Don't worry. Mom brain.
Yeah, mom brain. So it's setting a boundary with the kids first, letting them know mommy's working, right? So during this time, mommy works. You can always come in and talk to me, whether I am sitting down at the table or I'm in an office or wherever, and just explaining to them that even though I'm at home, I'm still working. So I have to set that boundary with them at home first. And then at work, and also set boundaries for myself. I cannot be doing laundry while I'm trying to get work done because my brain is all over the place. I have to set boundaries for myself where personal time is personal time, work time is work time. So this brings me back to my 2 hours of time, my thinking time, where I get that done in the morning and then I'll schedule meetings after that. Why? Because you make better decisions in the morning if you've got enough sleep and you've done all those things. In the morning is the best time for you to have that thinking, you know, what do you need to do? What steps do you need to take? Or there's a big decision that you have to make, you know, schedule that time. So creating these boundaries, and then around people who you work with, you know, are there certain times that you're just not going to accept calls anymore because you have to have a period of time that you have to say no to some opportunities. And that's, you know, so as long as you are able to create that space for yourself where it's okay to not say yes to everybody, it's okay to tell somebody no, you can't get this work done, then you're going to be in a much better place than saying yes to everybody and stressing yourself out trying to please everyone. So it's important to set those boundaries across the board.
Yeah. So, well, there was a comment here that said silent but dadly when we're talking about the dads.
All right, dads. Yeah, no, I mean, dads are awesome right now. I have a dad out there who's holding the kids at bay. I don't know if you could hear doors knocking, but he's working.
No, not hearing the knocking. I just locked my door. So you'll probably bang on the door soon though. But okay, so the next question that I would have would be, what can individuals do right now? We had just spoken about like setting boundaries, but what more can we do right now to avoid burnout?
Yeah, I mean, I think those things are important. First of all, I think you have to get your fundamentals in, and this is something that I try to practice. You don't have to do it all the time, but you know, it's really important. The fundamentals: sleep. People always say it, but guys, it's true. It's so true. If you're operating with an empty tank, you're most likely probably going to burn out, you know, anything that's happening during the day. So, I mean, getting your sleep in, getting your exercise, and exercise doesn't have to be, you know, running down the road. Just get up, you know, stretch for a little bit, get some of that in. Eating well is important. Meditating, like that's my key. Like I do meditation every single day, and I get up in the morning, I have my 20 minutes with Oprah and Deepak. I love that one, transcendental meditation. It works. I have other meditation, but this particular one, it really, I like guided meditations, right?
Yeah, me too.
I love guided meditations. So I think getting a meditation in and I think it's before you start reading those emails. Why? Because every time that you get up in the morning and the first thing you do is read an email from someone else, you've allowed them to dictate your day, you know? I think those are some of the ways that you can start. You have to steer the ship, be in control of your day. And I say meditation, but it might be something else for you, you know? So I think about what is a fundamental for you. I mean, besides the top three, which is sleep, eating well, and exercising, what else do you need? Like, do you need to read something inspiring? Do you need to talk to somebody? And, you know, what do you need to do for yourself? Do you need to have your cup of coffee in the morning? You know, do those things for yourself and allow yourself the space to take control of your day before it gets away. So, I mean, besides everything we're talking about, boundaries and being productive is another, or being organized. That's one of my formulas. Organization, self-care, because if I'm organized, then I know what I'm doing. I'm focused. So when I get up in the morning and I do I have my fundamentals in, I've done my meditation, I know that I have either one or two things that I must get done, which happen in my 2 hours, my 2 hours of thinking or doing. And so once I've done that, I know that I've been productive. Everything else is brought up.
Yeah. So I have another poll going out right now. Question being, have you been actively looking to create balance in your life at this time? And it kind of speaks to what you're just talking about, which is basically filling your cup when your day starts. I find that if I don't meditate, I am the snappiest person on the planet. And even this morning, Mark says, Anika, have you had your oil? And I said, what are you talking about? Like, did you have your oil? I'm talking about my CBD oil, right? I keep it beside my computer. I was like, no, I haven't. He's like, I'm going to get it for you.
And that's your thing, right?
I need the CBD, and I need a little meditation, and I need some alone time.
Yeah, exactly.
And that means locking myself in the bathroom.
Hey, do what works for you, but that's important. It's just to find your thing, you know? So, I mean, it's all well and good when everybody talks about, here's the things that you must do for, you know, a morning ritual or morning routine. And I think everybody's going to look different. You can offer examples and say, here's the things that you know is good for you, but you know yourself. If you don't know yet, because there are people who are going to be like, I don't know what works for me. Try everything. Try all of these things.
Yeah.
You know,
and I think we now have the time. We have the time to try things out. We're not sitting in traffic for an hour and a half. We're not waking up at 5 in the morning, maybe. But I mean, if you wake up at 5 in the morning, like, you can still have some quiet time to yourself, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's important. And stop watching the news, people. Like, seriously.
I try and temper it. One of the biggest things that I would recommend as well is for people to adjust their settings in WhatsApp so that you don't automatically download video or images.
That's a good one. I just found that out the other day.
Yeah, no, because the shit that people send is unfiltered. They're not thinking, and it raises my blood pressure and my anxiety level goes through the roof. So I make sure that setting is off. Like, I'm not downloading nothing unless you tell me what it is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's true. And I mean, for me, and being a mom with kids at home now, you know, with this whole COVID-19 thing, I'm trying to be mindful that I'm not creating this hysteria for them as well. So I just don't listen to news on the TV where they can hear it. I will check it on the computer, like maybe twice for the day. That's it.
Trisha she made a good point in, because we had her do a deep relaxation practice, which was lovely, 2 days ago on Tuesday. And she made that point when I had her Q&A after, was you know, you want to separate the kids from the anxiety, basically. So
Right.
I'm trying to be more conscious of that too. MJ says that bathroom moments are underrated. What would we do
Yeah.
without them? It's true. And Cook is asking where she can get CBD oil. Girl, there are places that you can get it. You and even like some of the dispensaries right now, they're offering curbside pickup. Okay, so yeah,
New normal, like
it's
everybody's
a
off.
new world.
Yeah, no, I'm telling, it is a new world and it's amazing because like I just had a whole bunch of amazing cold pressed juices and shots sent to me this morning from Nature My Therapy. I love their juices.
Oh, okay, that's good to
They're
know.
up.
Like we have to figure out ways to fill our cup one way or another,
Yeah,
even
exactly.
by delivery.
Even by delivery. And I think it's great. You know what? Although COVID-19 is a terrible situation and we're going through a global pandemic, it really is an awful situation. I think that there's an opportunity here for people to create new habits, create new ways of, I mean, when you think about it right now, people are creating new habits and creating new businesses because of what's happening. Because we're at home, people are losing income, people aren't able to get out, and we have to, as you said before, Anika, be still. So
Mhm.
we have the opportunity now to take wellness into our own hands at home. And you know what the best part about it is? There's no excuses. So it's not, I have to go to the gym because, or I have to have this great outfit to go to the gym. It's, what can you do right now? What are the changes that you can make right now? And what
Mhm.
can you use in your, pantry? Everybody can't get access to all of these fresh ingredients. I mean, we're still able to go to supermarkets, but be sensible about what you're doing now, And I think this, for me, I've been cooking a whole lot more. And I'm sure
Mhm.
it's the reality of a lot of people. We are able to now to take the opportunity to start creating new meals that you and your family are going to enjoy consistently. Before, people were ordering a lot of food because
Yeah.
it's convenient. Now we don't, with the changes, what new habit can you create, and
Mhm.
what new business opportunities can you imagine and create out?
Mhm.
So there's opportunity in light of all of this madness.
Mhm. I I have the kids doing experiential learning. We're making a farm.
Okay, that's nice. Okay.
So I mean, there are lots of opportunities. I always wanted to grow some produce in the backyard, and yeah, it's homework.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. And you know what? These things will become new habits for a lot of people. It really
So,
will.
the topic of this conversation here was thriving in life and in business. So how have you been thriving in life and in business? What has been your formula, or where are you trying to create that balance for
Yeah.
yourself? In the poll that we have right now, the question is, have you been actively looking to create balance in your life at this time? The responses are yes, nope, and what is this balance you speak of? And the results are telling, because 25% of people are saying they don't know what balance is.
Mm-hmm.
But 75% of people are saying that they are actively trying.
Yeah. You know what? I think that this word balance, it's used so loosely
It's
because
annoying.
yeah, I mean, to an extent, because, we think balance means equal, 50-50. Well, I guess in the true sense of the word, it does. But I think
Mhm.
that balance means what is right for you. So again, I go back to what I said earlier. For me, my formula, formula doesn't mean that my life is perfect. No, absolutely not. We're human beings. We're having a human experience here. And so, we have our ups and downs, and the downs teach us something, we go back up. But for me, it starts with my core desired feelings. And this is something that Danielle Laporte, I don't know if you've heard about her,
Mhm.
she has this thing called core desired feelings. I did it and I think it's amazing. It
Mhm.
really taps into what is it that you want to feel? We're so goal oriented. What do I want to achieve? I want to, I want to get this house, or I want to get this car, or I want to create this business, or I want to get 10,000 more followers. Those are goals, but what do you want to feel? At the end of the day, what do you want to feel? And when I did this exercise, I realized, and it was so great, I realized I want to feel ease. I want to feel nourished. I want to feel intentional. I want to feel like life is simple. And that was what I want to feel. And so for me, everything that I do in life and business, do I get the feeling of these words I've just described? Do I feel ease? Do I feel nourished? And creativity is also one of mine. Do I feel creative? And so I think when we talk about balance, it's not that one day you're not going to have more work than you have family time. Tonight, I've been working from this morning up until this call because today that's what I needed to do. But in my work and life, do I feel these core desired feelings? And I do. And I try to strive to ensure that I get this feeling. And when I'm outside of those feelings, I know I'm not balanced. But it doesn't mean that shit don't happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it's starting with that core desired feelings. What do I want to feel in life? And then when I figure out what I want to feel in life, it also dictates what kind of business do I want to do.
Yeah.
Where people, when we talk about balance, it's not about being a perfect mom. It's not about having, or dad, it's not about having the meals prepped in the fridge perfectly. It's not about, having a healthy meal every single night. But again, going back to my core desired feeling, do I feel nourished? Sometimes I want pizza, and that day pizza is nourishing me because I needed this feeling,
Yeah.
But I mean, in moderation, but that is what I need. So did I need that pizza tonight, or is it making me feel really bad about myself? And it did, I knew I didn't need that, right? So I think for me,
that's a good gauge. I like that. Core desired feelings. Core desired, like
what do you want to feel? Core desired feelings. I think it's really powerful. It's Daniel Laporte. It's not my thing that I made up. But I live by that. And so I down everywhere. And when I assess situations, I go, does it make me feel this way? Am I feeling intentional? Everybody's going to have a different core desired feelings. But working through these things, I think that is a misconception when we talk about balance. We're always striving, but balance doesn't mean perfection either. It doesn't mean this magazine idea of what balance is.
Right.
Yeah.
So, how have you been? We've spoken about business. We spoke about wellness. We spoke about, how you're creating this sense of balance, or what your gauge is towards this ambiguous term of balance, right? But what I'd like to talk about, just while we're wrapping up, and we can also give folks an opportunity to ask any questions that they may have. But how have you been coping through COVID right now, and how have you been communicating this with your kids?
Yeah, I mean, at first it was shocking. Seeing what's happening, frightening. And I'm not gonna lie, I was like on the news all day, sitting down, just watching the news,
Yeah.
And I couldn't get enough of the news and tapping into when all of these conferences were happening, because it was just something to do that was different. And I had to snap out of it. Again, recognize that I had to speak to my children about what COVID is, because it was a new experience for them.
Yeah.
And so my children talked about the virus. So my daughter would say, because of coronavirus, we can't take family vacation. Because of coronavirus, I can't get to see my friends. And so they're aware of it. I want them to know that we're not locking them up in the house because, we're trying to be mean, but educate them. And I think the schools are doing a really good job of that too, even a few days before they close, just letting them know about washing their hands. So it made it easier for us to find. But right now, we're not talking about it in my house. My daughter will mention it every so often and say, we can't go to my friend's house because of coronavirus. So we'll say, yes, we can't do that. No, But again, I don't put news on for them to hear at home at all. I do more family time than I did before, which is great because I'm forced to. But yeah, I've moved out of the news, oh my gosh, this is happening, to trying to be productive and just have a normal day. So I get up at the same time I would normally get up. I do my, as I said, my routine. I go into work, go straight to work in my makeshift office. And yeah, I try to live life normally now. And
What? I didn't catch the last part.
Down a bit.
Oh, okay. So what tips would you have for moms working from home? And like before we started this call, we're chatting about, the moms who have the toddlers and the young babies, like, or whew, my heart goes out to you at this point in time. Yeah, like I'm there. But what tips would you have?
I think some of the things that we've already been discussing, but I think the first thing is, give yourself grace. You have kids, you're there with them 24/7, so you're going to lose your mind sometimes. They're going to annoy you, but you have to give yourself grace. Tonight, I had to do that for myself, coming onto this call. It's okay that my daughter's upset with me, but, I know I'm doing things for her that I'm proud of. So one, grace, get rid of that mom guilt. Two, I was going to say as productive as possible, but I want to say that last. Get your self-care in. I think it's an important time to slow down. We've been given this opportunity to kind of go within. So actually create time during your day to do that. It's okay. As a matter of fact, you probably get some of your best ideas or find some solutions to some problems that you've been having if you just take the time to slow down for a bit throughout the day. And then the next thing is, in terms of your productivity, I would suggest just try to get one or two things done per day. Like business, or if you're trying to do something around the house, just set like small tasks. Don't have this long to-do list. Really break things up. And then when you do them, celebrate with yourself. It's so celebrate. So those are some of the tips I would say just to help you thrive and stay sane.
I love that. And I want to throw in one of my tips in there, which would be keep a done list. We always add this ratted to-do list and we keep adding stuff to it, but it demotivates me many times when I realize at the end of the day, shit, I haven't accomplished half of the stuff I needed to do. But I keep a list of things that I have accomplished, and that has probably kept me very sane, especially in the last few weeks.
Absolutely, it's a celebration. I think, and as you said, the to-do list, I think it's so important not to have a long to-do list. Like, have a list and then take things off of that. Here's a one or two, and then, as you said, your done list, the celebration, so important.
Thank you, Lauri. We haven't gotten any questions yet, but is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Great conversation. I think it's important to talk about, business and life. And I think, they're both one and the same sometimes for a lot of people. And, we spend most of our days, even before COVID, at work. So it's important to try to get that balance where you're able to bring some of these wellness tips into your workplace, into your life in general, so that you can thrive in both. One, we don't need to separate one from the other because it's you're just living, right? How can you start to create that continuity with some of these habits? But thanks so much for the conversation.
Thank you for coming on board. You want to tell anybody where they can find you? I know that you're on LinkedIn and on Instagram.
Yes, I'm on LinkedIn and Instagram. You can find me at the Branson Center at bransonCenter.co, or you can find me personally at Lauri-Ann-Ainsworth.com. And I'm also on Instagram at Lauri-Ann Ainsworth. So yeah, you can just tap into me, and we're also on Instagram, the Branson Center Caribbean.
Yeah.
So tap into us as well. We have a whole resource page for entrepreneurs as well who are going through COVID-19. So if you have entrepreneurs here, you can check us out and check out our website.
Thank you so much, Lori. I'm just gonna plug quickly that we're gonna have Empress Golding on this Saturday. She's going live with us this weekend, and we'll be hashing out a lot of different conversations there with Empress. But thank you again, Lori, for joining.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching, and feel free to please share this video, and maybe even perhaps if you have any last bit of questions, you could jot them in the comments, and I'll try and field them through to Lori one-on-ways. But thank you. I tried to end it. So the video is ended. Thank you, girl.
Yes.
It was good. It was good.
Oh, I see it's still recording.
Oh, there's still a, oh, that's Zoom. Zoom is recording. Let me end the Zoom thingy. But the live thing is done.